Okay, we'll call to order the Green Bay Sex Offender Residency Board meeting. We'll take roll call.
I'm getting there. Do we have to? They have to do a motion to.
Okay, next item.
Okay, the next item is the approval of the agenda. We can get a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh.
Hold on. All in favor?
Okay, so the vote should be coming to your tablet.
Oh.
Do we have to press save?
Yes. Okay, unanimous 4-0 approval of the agenda.
If I can get an approval for the minutes from the April 11th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh.
Who initiated the motion? Second. Should be able to vote. All right, unanimous, passed.
Okay, we'll get to regular business. The first appeal we'll hear is Stephen Giddings requesting to move to 3569 Satellite Lane.
Hello.
Hello?
I'm Sean Linan, Linnan, appearing on behalf of Stephen. A.N.
Do we have your address for the record?
Oh yeah, 1008 Tacoma Beach Road, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay, Mr. Giddings, you've been here before the board, and you're requesting to move
Yes.
to the satellite. Could you tell us why you'd like to move to that address?
Yes. Okay, can I hand a letter to y'all first? From Julie, that owns the residence? Okay.
Do I have to read this out loud? Okay. Yes.
You could say what you really need.
Okay. So right now, we have a letter from Julie Rentmeester, who is Mr. Giddings' girlfriend, and the place where he will be residing at, if approved. She mentions how he does cleaning there. As of right now, when he's at the home, it's stressful not knowing if someone's gonna call the police department thinking that he's living there. She indicates that he's come a long way since he's been before the board. Mentions changes that he's made, he's got a job, his apartment, helping mend relationships in the family. Okay, let's see. Stephen plans on staying in his apartment but is seeking your approval to be at my home on a flexible basis. This, as you can see, will benefit me greatly. We both agree that having his apartment and job played a big part in all the positive things happening in his life. Living together is something we would like to do in the future because it would help us both financially. Please consider approving him. He has really worked hard to turn his life around. Okay.
Okay. I have my apartment on Cherry Street, which I want to keep yet. Julie and I have talked in the past about my residence on Cherry Street, and that I want to keep it until I'm done with probation. I have 8 months left of probation. I've held my job for over a year. I've been extremely busy between my apartment, Julie's house, my shop, and my job and stuff. I'm mainly asking for an approval to be there on a flexibility type of basis. I could even talk this over with my agent, if approved, and we can kind of maybe set something up. They still do home visits and stuff like that, so, that's mainly why I'm here, is to seek some flexibility. I have one neighbor that's bothering me, and everybody else is minding their own business, and they haven't complained about me or nothing, and they all see what I'm doing around there. I've had compliments from my next door neighbor about what I've done in the yard and stuff around the house.
When you say that, are you talking about the satellite address?
The satellite ad is right,
Okay.
right, I
Okay.
understood that,
Okay, good.
okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it would be just out of flexibility and with me every night. I mean, I got my apartment, so I'm going back and forth. Right now I stay at my apartment mostly on the nights that I work. Sometimes I work 3 nights, sometimes I work 2 nights. So it just depends. I can only work a certain amount of nights per week because of my disability, my SSDI, so I can only make so much per month. So that's why I can only work so many nights per week. Okay.
And so when you're talking about a flexible basis, like how many nights are you wanting to
Just-
stay there?
Be able to come there and go as things are needed to get done. If it's to the point where I have to stay a couple of nights or something like that, that I don't want someone to see me out in the yard, specifically my neighbor that's been causing me problems. I was actually out there working yesterday, and my neighbor did come home from lunch, on her lunch break, and I know she saw me out there working, but I didn't make no eye contact or nothing because I was busy working. Nothing happened, so.
Have you had any police calls to that satellite address?
Yeah, there is a citation that I'm working on right now with my attorney. But that was, that, she ended up creating a log, showing that I've been at that address doing stuff. But that log all started after the fact that I was already living on Cherry Street. I moved into Cherry Street in April, and she started the log in June.
Captain, is that correct? Do you know, for the police call?
Also, the city.
I don't have information on here.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt. The city attorney requested this too because of the citation.
Oh, I see.
That's, so,
Okay.
Do you, as the lawyer, have any information on this?
Yeah, so basically what it is the city, there was a complaint filed about a year ago with this allegation that he was living at the residence and it was in violation of, the rules. And it was dismissed before the first hearing because, of course, the statute doesn't prohibit somebody from coming and going or doing lawn care. He didn't have a job, so he was coming and going all the time. And so the city at that point said, well, yeah, he could stop by 5 times a week if he wanted to, because as long as he's not claiming residence at this place, and that's that. So he has this Cherry Street address, and he pays $475 per month plus utilities. But he's not allowed to drive the car except to go to and from work, and he's not allowed to park a utility trailer at his apartment. So the car largely stays at Julie's house. And then she gives him rides because he's not able to drive himself back from her house once he gets there because he's got to be coming or going to work. And so, or the trailer's there and she wants to use one or the other of these things. So, long story short, one of his neighbors has kept this log and logged, I saw his car there, I saw the car there, it looks like the car was overnight there. But in a span of almost 4 months, she had actually logged him physically present 13 times. And doing yard work, I think all but 1 time, maybe 2 times. And I guess the issue has been that that's completely permissible. And so we're dealing with this again. And so the city said, go down to the appeals board and see if we can get this straightened out so we're not down here and that was the impetus for this, because Stephen was like, I don't want to go back, I don't want to be rejected again. And I said, well, she's asking that we come down and do this. And because the city's in a bad situation, and I can't speak for the city, but from my perspective, the city is in a bad spot because they want to be responsive to the neighborhood. At the same time, it's going to be a heck of a case for them to prove residency when all of his mail goes there, his driver's license is there, he's paying an apartment there, that's, except for the fact that he's a felon, he'd be registered to vote there. I've been to this building more than he's been to her house, and I don't live here. And that's the case, right? And so that's why he's here largely.
Okay. For the board's purpose, do we need Mr. Giddings to go over his crime? He's been here, I don't know, Ed, if you're familiar
I
with
read
it.
up on it. I'm
Okay. Okay. So we'll go in with any other questions if people have anything.
Well,
Over door family.
What is this?
residency violation.
Oh, I see.
That indicates when he was cited for violating the ordinance.
All right, so we have, from the alderman here, 5 citations ranging, 1 from 2015, 3 from 2016, and 1 back in November of 2017 for sex offender residency violation. Okay.
But remember, a lot of those were either, well, the one is still pending from November. The one from 2016 was tossed out. And the other ones, they didn't realize they could even fight him. There was a ticket, so they paid it. But, it is what it is.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have questions for him? Do we need to talk about treatment?
Yeah, I don't have questions.
No. No questions, no treatment questions?
Oh, well, I do want to talk about.
Okay. Mr. Giddings, we'd like to talk about your treatment. Would you like to do that in closed session or open session?
Open?
Okay. Any questions?
In your letter, you say that you're going to circles of support when your work allows. How often is that?
I was there recently, maybe about a month ago, and I go as my work schedule allows it. Sometimes I work on Wednesdays, even though I'm part-time. I have to go. Then they have slow times, they have busy times, so I have to go when the work is there, so I can pay my bills. But I do go if I'm not busy. I mean, since I've got my apartment and since I've got my job, I've been a lot more busier than I have been in the past.
So is it once a month, approximate?
I think I was
Say?
there last month.
Okay.
I don't remember what day it was, but they're held on a Wednesday too, so.
Okay.
But yeah, I know I don't recall the exact date, but, and I do plan on going in the future as my work schedule allows it, so. And they all know that, and they'll know I'll be there, so,
Okay.
I mean, I even work with people that have been from the group, and I associate with them at work, and I talk to them and stuff, so.
Okay.
You've completed sex offender treatment, is that correct?
Yes, I did, you all should have that on file,
Yep. Okay,
you
just
know.
confirming. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
I don't have
Okay. Do we have anybody who would like to speak for or against Mr. Giddings? Oh.
We do have a number that have signed up already. I'll just,
You'll call them out?
yeah, I'll call
Okay.
them up.
Okay.
Ally Winnicki,
Where would you like me to come up?
come up, take the open chair. And each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak.
I am a resident of Satellite Lane and would like to speak on behalf of myself and others that are here. I have seen Mr. Giddings reside at this place that the committee had denied him back in September of 2016. Over the past year and a half, Mr. Giddings has been observed being outside multiple times, parking his vehicle in Julie's garage, and then being there still the next day. I don't understand how he can say that he visits when this seems more of a residency already. Through my own observations and the observations of others, Mr. Giddings had been cited 2 times in 2016. One of which was only 1 month after he was denied from this committee. I understand that Mr. Giddings was approved at the Cherry Street apartment. However, please don't be swayed that he actually does reside there. Since that April meeting when he was approved, myself and other neighbors thought that this problem would be put to ease. Yet, he continued to still be on Satellite Lane. In November of 2017, Mr. Giddings was again cited for another sex offender. I'm sorry, could you repeat the date? November 2017. Thank you. Mr. Giddings was again cited for another sex offender residency violation. This came from the log that he just described.
Oh, okay.
He continues to defy what this committee has set in place. This now brings the official satellite address total of 4 violations, as the first was at his old address on Wiggins Way. Since the citation in November 2017, our neighborhood has received sidewalks. In my opinion, sidewalks are intended to keep children and people safe and off the road. 3 minutes, or you'll have to.
Do you have a letter or something that you want the board to consider?
I'm just reading. I just have like a half a page left.
Okay.
Okay. sidewalks have now caused my own child and other neighborhood children to be closer to this man when he's outside. I have talked to my child about what a good touch and a bad touch is. Yet I have no explanation for this situation and the man he knows shouldn't be here. Please consider what Mr. Giddings' character, actions, and personality that I've just described that have been over the last year and a half. He shows no remorse, rehabilitation, and no concerns for anyone but himself. He has been deceitful, secretive, and downright disrespectful to this committee, the Green Bay Police, and the City of Green Bay. I'd ask that you just look at the totality of the circumstances and his flexibility request and deny his petition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we've got Amy Joski.
Hello, I live on Satellite, right between Mr. Giddings and Winnicky. And I can't really, I disagree with everything she said. Everything she said is how I feel. He is there all the time, and he may have an apartment on Cherry Street, but that's all it is he pays the rent, he gets his mail sent there, his Social Security, whatever, but he resides, from what we can see on Satellite. He's there all the time. I come up for lunch, I go to bed, I wake up, he's there.
Can I just ask you, do you ever see Julie driving him in the car?
I probably could count on one hand.
Okay.
He's already there when I wake up and leave. I don't know. And his car's in the driveway or the garage or...
Okay.
Maureen Rasmussen.
I live around the corner, so I don't see a lot of what's happening, but as a concerned parent, as a lot of people are on these streets, I myself have a 6-year-old daughter, and my neighbors have a 9 and 11-year-old daughters as well, daughters. I understand it's a hard situation. I have heard a little bit about what he was actually charged with, and that it was technically a victimless crime. But I've also heard that, and I've not been able to read the transcripts of what occurred, but that if we had, or we were able to read what actually had occurred for him to be convicted, we would feel the need to be more protective of our community, of our neighborhood. So I think this whole thing has been dragged out a little bit too long than it had to be. Obviously, there are a lot of families in this neighborhood that feel very strongly that someone with the potential of causing harm should not be living in this area. And they're actually building right behind us in a field, so they're adding more homes to the area. They're right across the street, within 1 mile, is a church that has a daycare. I mean, it's just kind of right smack dab in the middle of where we wouldn't want to see someone who might have the potential of causing harm live. The fact that he has not been honest from the beginning, he was introduced to one neighbor as her brother, I believe, when they first started living there, and there were other stories about his relationship with Julie that were kind of brought up. So I think we all just are a little frustrated that we think that something has been resolved and that he has an apartment, but now still possibly coming out there more than we would like to see. I mean, I understand visiting, but from what it seems like, it just seems like it's more of an overnight permanent residency, so.
Thank you.
Yes, that's it.
Those are all the pre-registered speakers.
Alderman has.
Okay.
Hi, Alderwoman Barb Dorf. So some of you have been on this board for a while, so may know the history where it started in District 1 on Wiggins Way, and then there was asked to leave Wiggins Way. We thought things were going to be solved in District 1, but instead it just moved over to Satellite. And so now I work with Officer Matheny numerous times. I get emails from the neighbors, work with Captain Florence, talked with the city attorney, and I know it all kind of rests on you, and it's a very serious responsibility that you have. But this has been a problem for over 2 years now in my district, and it seems that there are things going on that are really not truthful. He's not being upfront. I believe that he is not living at Cherry Street. I believe the neighbors when they tell me that he is living on Satellite. And just as he lived at Wiggins when he was there. And he knows he's not supposed to. He knew he wasn't supposed to be at Wiggins, and he turned around, and now he's living on Satellite. And he shouldn't be living there either. He should be living on Cherry Street. So that's just the testimony I want to bring forward, and I hope that you can make a good decision for the neighbors in District 1. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Has he caused any trouble that, in that area thus far, since he's lived on Satellite?
I think his presence causes trouble because parents are afraid. They're afraid for their children. And I think that it's a legitimate fear that they have. So in that sense, I would have to say yes, he has caused trouble.
Do you know what Maureen had mentioned about misrepresentation about who he was, brother or relative of
I had not
the,
heard,
the
I did not
homeowner?
know that. I mean, I had not heard that before, but, no, I hadn't heard that. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
I would just like to make a statement. As a board, when we make a decision, we have to look at whether the person will reoffend, if they show remorse, and what they've done for treatment. So those are the factors that we need to consider when we make a decision. So I just want everyone to understand that.
Wants to say anything yet, or at this point, or?
If you need to.
So, I mean, basically, that's, the history of this case is so, it's grandstanding is what it is. Every time we come back here, it's the same, like, conjecture and speculation, and there's never, ever a substantive objection except, well, we think he's staying there, and that's in violation of your rules. Now, if you had given him permission, 99% of the complaints would have just evaporated, except for the one where I don't want him in my backyard. That neighborhood Satellite Lane is on is new construction. It's super low density. In fact, I don't think there's a place in Green Bay that's lower density than that neighborhood, which means that if he moved any other place in Green Bay, he'd be likely closer to more people. So this idea that, well, there's new construction, there's people that live there, of course there are. I wouldn't want a sex offender necessarily live in my neighborhood either. But these are citizens, they need to live somewhere. And the criteria that you've enumerated, they are relevant, and that's why they're laid out. Mr. Giddings is going to be off probation in 8 months. The probation agent has given his thumbs up to moving to this address on numerous occasions. He has nothing but good things to say about his treatment history, having done his time, paid his fines, basically paid his due to society. I would think that if he were, at some point, it's going to be legal for him to live there regardless of what anybody says about it. And I would think that it would be best to do that now when they have, the folks that live here, they have 8 months to talk to the probation agent about anything that isn't going well. But at the end of the day, this these witnesses calling for legal conclusions about whether he is or is not a resident. That's an extremely important distinction here. That's not something like, well, I think he lives there. I go to my mom's every single day because my kids get off the bus there. And the fact that they get off the bus there makes it more my residence than hers does his. But that doesn't have anything to do with anything. He's there for legitimate reasons. All of the logs that have been done, they all say the same thing. I saw him mowing the grass. I saw him, hauling something into the house. I saw him parking his car. In fact, there's only two that say I saw him drinking coffee. And one was sitting on the deck. But this is in a 4-month span of time where the immediate neighbor is watching him like a hawk. I get it. They don't want him to live there. But that can't be what this board considers the most important piece of information. And yes, he's been cited 4 times, but the first 2 times he didn't have any representation, had no idea what residency even meant, paid the fine like it was nothing and walked away. Now, Officer Matheny was here at the last meeting, and he's talked to all these neighbors, and he's talked to the alderwoman, and I get that. But he has something personal, in my opinion, against Mr. Giddings, because last time he was here, he went, really, red in the face. He was angry about this man's criminal history. And I went and got his criminal history. And but for the incident we're here for, it reads like this. 2002 was the most recent thing prior to this occasion, the reason, seatbelt violation. 2002, traffic citation for speeding. 1994, taillight broken. 1990, taillight broken. 1989, traffic citation of speeding. And it goes on and on all the way back into the mid-'80s. In fact, it ends because it says that there was no computer, the history was pre-computer at that point. Mr. Giddings he was given a to-do list by the city attorney, he was given a to-do list by probation, he was given a to-do list by this committee. Go get a job, do this, participate, meet the neighbors, do the best you can to fit in. And he's done every single one of those things. I'm asking the court to approve this.
Are you trying to listen?
I'm asking this committee to approve him because none of the complaints that have been raised thus far will be alleviated by him being rejected. He'll be there tomorrow mowing the grass, and he'll be well within his rights to do that. So if the argument that the neighbors have is that he's causing problems because he's breaking your rule, I can tell you that that's not happening down at the courthouse. We didn't even go to the arraignment on the last one. And with Officer Matheny, the entire weight of the police force behind that complaint, that's where it ended up. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, does anyone on the board have anything further to say? Anyone would like to make a motion? Any comments from the board?
I want to thank all of you for coming today. I know it's not easy. And like Heidi said, we do take this very seriously. But I am going to make a motion to approve him to live at 3569 Satellite Lane.
Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay. We'll take a vote.
Aye.
I'm sending it over to you.
Sorry. Old habits die hard.
I know.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 3-1 vote.
Thank you.
Mr. Giddings, you've been approved to go to Satellite.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the next on the agenda is the appeal of Craig Burnett requesting to move to 1218 Sandstone Place. Yeah, anywhere is fine. All right. Pardon me? Where's the mic?
We're not using the audio recorder because it's video recording.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, gotcha.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Burnett, you're asking to move to the... I got it already. Is that this? Yes, thank you.
You already
And-
approved me?
Yep, you were approved, and we gave you 90 days the last time you were here, and we asked that you provide us some updated treatment information and employment documentation. Before we talk about that, do you want to discuss your treatment in public or private session?
Awesome.
Okay, all right, so do you have that documentation we requested?
Actually, no, I do not. Not at this time because it is with my girlfriend at her work. So is there any way that I can bring it down next day?
Excuse me.
Why is it at her work?
Yeah,
Well, she's the one who provides me with rides because I don't have my driver's license yet. I didn't know she was gonna get called into work this morning. When I left my dad's house this morning, she was already gone. Sometimes she goes to Sturgeon Bay, sometimes she stays here, because they got homes all over the place, because she's a manager of extremely autistic and bipolar residents.
What information did you have for us?
Well, I had the letter from my work, and then I just had like a piece of paper signed from my AODA from Oneida Behavioral Health to say that I was doing my treatment, my AODA, to stay within the boundaries to get my driver's license, which I can't afford yet, but I just take the bus. And then I
What
just
ab-
had that letter from my boss, my supervisor, Bob.
what about the sex offender treatment? You said the last time that you were enrolling in it. Have you done that?
Nope, he said once I get done with my AODA, this is from my agent, once I get done with my AODA, then I'll move on to the sex offender treatment. Other than that, I have not had any problems, I have not, no violations, no dirty UAs, no nothing. No police contact.
That was back in February we saw you, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
My dad is, he's not getting any better.
Right.
Now he can barely walk, his legs are, his ankles are this big. So I just mainly help him. That's what I do with my time off. And I do have to have surgery on my elbow. No, I did not hurt it at work, I hurt it at my dad's house. So I have been off of work for the last 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, until my doctor gives me 100%. Otherwise, my job won't take me back because my job is very physical.
where is it again that you work?
CA Lawton, the foundry in De Pere. I work 12, 14-hour days, and right now we're so understaffed that my boss calls me every other day. Hey, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get your... I don't know why they can't keep guys out there, but apparently hard work nowadays is...
Did you say when you're gonna be done with the AOD?
It'll be about 4 months.
4 more months?
Yeah. Only because of my past history with alcohol and drugs. So, when we talked about it, she's like, I think you should stay a little longer. And I said, that's fine, I'll do what I have to do to keep doing good. I don't want to go backwards. I'm tired of going backwards. 39 years old. I should have my own home and all that stuff by now.
You kind of put us in a difficult situation, because we specifically asked for that documentation. We gave you that 90 days. I don't know how everybody else feels about that.
Is there any way
You
this,
have my boss call you, because we both work third shift, so it's really hard. I mean, there's times where, where somebody doesn't show up for shift, we gotta stay until 8 o'clock and we're done at 4:30. That's a 16-hour day. So we get tired. I did ask him, he did, put it in a letter, and I understand that's my responsibility, and I apologize for that.
I think the major, well, I'll speak for myself, the major concern is about the treatment, what,
Right. Like I
You
said,
can tell us
had-
that you've done that, but we really need to see something that you have been in some kind of a treatment.
Okay.
So, I don't, Renee, did you have an idea or thought?
Well, I was just wondering if he would be able to bring it in,
Whatever day
or
you
do
want
we,
me
do we, I'm just trying to figure out like time-wise. Is that something you could do, like if you brought it in tomorrow?
That you would have to
We-
look at it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
I'm just gonna come back next month.
Yeah, does somebody want to make a motion, maybe?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
We have to put a motion.
what is the motion for 30 days?
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought you made it there.
No.
I'll make a motion to deny at this time for 30 days until him brain treatment.
So you don't want him to stay at this address right now for the next 30 days? You're denying that? I'm just trying to understand.
You're already there?
Yeah, I've been there for 3 months.
Well, if he's already there, and if you don't have it next month, then I think we should deny him, right? Or he's gotta move or something.
Okay, so what is the actual motion?
To,
You table it for a month, is
to
that?
approve him for 30 days, pending bringing into the next meeting his information of treatment.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll take a,
You had wanted employment stuff too.
I can bring that too.
You wanted updated treatment and employment
Employment.
information, so.
So me,
did you want to alter your motion? Okay, we'll take a vote.
Motion passes on a 3-1 vote.
So 30 days, you don't need to resubmit your application, but you need to come in and you need to provide us that documentation.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the appeal of Clifford Holmes requesting to move to 816 Mather Street. Oops. Hi.
give us a second.
Yeah. Huh? Where did you get that from? Here's right down there. Can I see up here? Did you fill out a piece of paper?
No, I didn't. Do I have to?
You need to,
Okay.
yes. She's got like an old agenda that keeps popping.
It keeps going back to the last one.
I think you might be have clicked on that was agenda, but if you could check.
It's just, it keeps going back here.
Okay.
I apologize to everyone, we're starting to go electronic, so this is our first meeting, so we're learning as we go.
They'll call you.
So this is the current.
Yep, but you're still getting late. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the vote automatically pops up or whatever you guys
Oh.
want. So this is the current.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, have you ever been before us?
No.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to talk about what your crime, what you were convicted of. When you talk about your victim, we ask that you don't refer to the person by relationship or name, just say the victim.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and tell us.
In October of 2006, I was convicted of second-degree sexual assault of a child. I groomed my victim by and using a friend relationship with her. She wanted to use my clothes for Halloween and stuff like that. She had a conversation with the girlfriend I had at the time, her daughter. They were classmates and at the school they were at. And she had a conversation with her over the phone saying that she wanted to have sex with me. So once I heard that, I used that as my way in to eventually assault her. So when she told me to stop, I stopped, and that was the end of it.
And how old were you?
I was 22,
And she was how old?
15, I believe.
And you knew she was 15?
No, I didn't find out until after the fact that she was 15.
How old did you think she was?
I thought she was 18.
And then, how did it come about that this happened?
I believe someone mentioned it to the lady I was dating at the time, and she went to confront the girl, and then that's how it came out.
Okay. And when it went to court, did you plead guilty?
Yes.
Oh, you did plead guilty. And it looks like you're from Milwaukee and were convicted in Milwaukee. Why do you want to come to Green Bay?
Honestly, I wanted to get away from Milwaukee. I had met someone back in 2013 when my life was going kind of crazy. It was I had just separated from my wife, or my ex-wife at the time, and I needed a fresh start. And so when I met her, that was my fresh start. And so, not knowing the rules before, I came up here not knowing that there was a process. And so within that process, within not knowing, a lot of stuff happened. And then we got into it, and I received disorderly conduct because we were arguing. And then on top of that, I had a ticket for failure to register because I did know. And so after all of that, I'm like, this time we're going to do it the right way. I have 2 kids with her now, and I want my life with her. I want to be back. I want to be with my kids and with her and continue to move forward like we started to.
How much time did you get for that case?
6 years altogether. 2
How
years
much?
confinement, 4 years on extended supervision.
And are you off paper now?
Yes.
How long have you been off?
Since 2012.
Do you have a job?
Not currently, no.
So what do you do all day?
I help my mother out because that's where I'm at. If she needs me, I help her. And sometimes I come back and forth so I can spend time with my children.
Are you seeking to find a job, or are you doing applications?
Here, once everything's approved, I plan on working here so I can help my fiance out and everything like that because she's on a set income because she has SSI. So there's only so much she can do with 2 kids, and her money is stretched very thin at the moment. So
Have you been to us before?
no,
Is it-
I had an appointment prior, but I didn't know the date because. Well, I have smaller brothers and sisters, and so a lot of times when they get the mail, they tend to put it up, and then it's lost. And so I ended up missing. I believe I missed the date last month or
Okay.
in March, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Okay, I just have a question then regarding the landlord letter. It's dated February 3rd of 2017,
Mhm.
a year ago.
Okay.
Why do we have a landlord letter from a year ago?
I think she just misplaced the date because when we talked to her prior to, she filled one out before for that March one.
Because he didn't get the letter.
Oh, from that one.
Oh.
I'm just wondering.
She had put the date on there prior to for the. She wrote a letter before because I filled it out, but I didn't submit the paper.
A year ago.
Correct. And so she was like, if we could find a letter, we could just use that. Hopefully, we could still use just that letter. That's what she had explained to us, and so that's why I sent it in with that letter.
I called the landlord
got a hold of her and explained the letter, that it was an old letter. And she said that she did write that letter in 2017. That she is aware he's a sex offender, that he's kind of been there on and off already. But she did approve him. She told me that verbally, that
Okay.
she did do another letter. She could do another letter.
Okay,
But this one was from a year ago.
Okay.
all right. And who's that Ezra?
That's my fiance that I was just.
Oh, okay, okay,
That's what I was gonna ask.
all right.
Okay.
Does anyone have questions about his crime? Okay, we'd like to talk to you about treatment. You have the option to do that in closed session or public session. What would you prefer?
Public is fine.
Okay, so we'll ask you, have you received treatment?
I have,
you done?
when I was released from, they had me in the SOT treatment. I did that for my whole time on extended supervision.
And where did you do that at?
Hanger Enterprise LLC. It was downtown Milwaukee. I don't remember the exact address.
Focus Family Services?
No, that was my AODA.
Yeah.
Did you provide us any
Yeah.
documentation on that? I'm not seeing any.
No, I
kind
didn't
of-
have. They didn't give me certificates upon completion. They said that there wasn't that type of treatment facility compared to.
Sorry.
Compared to the other two that I had previously, they didn't hand out certificates upon completion. When I was in there until I was out of supervision, and that was it.
They couldn't send you anything, or?
No, they told me when that last day that they don't make certificates. They don't. That's not proof, because if I have to go back, they said basically anytime I commit another offense, I have like sex offender probation, or I will be held to those rules. So I would have, most likely I have to go back into treatment. So they never gave me a certificate so I completed it, because if I commit another crime and go back on, it's like ongoing treatment. Yeah, that's what I was told.
Did you do any while you were in the institution?
No, because how my sentence was structured.
So short.
Yeah, and so that's why I had intake upon the release, and then I had after the intake, it was probably 2-3 weeks of intake, and then I was actually put in a group where I just did that my whole 4 years on extended supervision.
All right, can you talk about that, what is it, Focus
Well,
treatment? What was that all about?
That was because when I was on probation for my disorderly conduct, I had 2 dirty UAs, and so they put me on, my probation officer at the time put me into my AODA group, and that's why I was in there.
Are you clean now?
Yes.
How long have you been?
2.5 years since I finished the group.
You also indicate that you attended this Nevermore Batters.
Yeah, that was the batters intervention for my disorderly conduct.
Okay.
What'd you learn from that?
For me, it was more of a refresher course. I learned that not every argument I have to win. I also learned that even if something is thrown at me, I don't need to react to it. I could walk away, or I could just say nothing. I also learned that I need to stop raising my voice every time I get upset, because that's how it started in the first place. My voice got loud, and so I have to learn that, watch what I say, especially in front of my kids. More than that's what I learned the most out of it.
What kind of work would you like to do if you were in Green Bay now?
Cleaning. I have a certificate for, I went to a class for probably 4 or 5 months as far as cleaning, where I learned how to clean up blood and eco-friendly products and stuff like that. So I'm very equipped with that. I know how to wax floors, strip floors, everything like that. I learned from that class, and that's tools I didn't have before.
You put your address as 3722 North 23rd Street, Milwaukee. Do you actually live there right now?
Yes, with my mother and my stepfather, my brothers and sisters, my younger siblings. Yes.
How many days a week are you there?
Probably like 2, 3 now because of my fiance, and she has we have 2 kids now, so my baby is 5 months, so I'm here a lot more trying to help her because, like I said, it's a lot, and I've been through being raised by a single mother because my mother has done that for me, so I don't want to have to give her that same burden if I don't have to.
And so you just worked in Milwaukee when the letter was sent to you for the last meeting?
I was out, and then when I came back, like I said, my brothers and sisters, they received the mail and they put it up, and it's like, well, where's the mail at? I don't know, that type of situation.
Okay, just trying to find it because we had those emails. Just a second, my tablets. Have the police been to the Mather Street address?
I've seen them once. I was up
To
here.
check on you?
I was up here visiting. I received a ticket on the 31st for failure to register, but I told them I was here visiting. I think it was a Saturday I got the ticket. I came to see my kids. They came to the house. They saw me there, and it was like, well, we were told you stay here. I'm like, no, I'm just visiting. They gave me the ticket. I have to go to court a couple of days for it.
Was that March 31st?
Yes.
Okay. Captain, is that correct?
Yeah, I think we were asked to follow up on the March meeting.
Okay.
And we did issue a citation. However, you should know that going back as far as 2014, he has listed 816 Mather as his residence. Please contact again in 2015 and then in 2018. I believe he was cited for the violation, obviously, March of this year, also sex offender registry violation, March 14th of 2015 at that address.
I kind of just spoke on that. Like at first, I didn't know that. As far as when I first came up here back in 2014, I didn't know I had to fill out. There was a way of doing this. I just came up here, and so that's what he's. As far as the first ticket, and that was after disorderly conduct. So when I was incarcerated for that, I got the ticket here as well, and I was back in Milwaukee, paid the ticket and everything like that. So.
Sir, when did you go off paper?
For the disorderly conduct or for the sex offense?
For the sex offense.
2012.
Do you have a driver's license? Or
Yes.
Do you have that on you?
Yes.
Can we see your driver's license to see what your address says? Do you have it listed in Milwaukee or here?
Milwaukee. But I haven't changed the address from the last time I had it. That's the address that's on the ticket that I received on the 31st.
Yes, Mom. Did you want to see?
Because that was my, like I said, that was where I was at prior to coming up here, not knowing everything. That was my last address.
Okay.
So that's at your mom's address?
Well, I haven't I haven't updated my address because I figured once it expired, I will go and do so. But I say all my mail is received at my mom's address.
Okay,
And she's.
one more thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Captain needs to say something.
He's terminated supervision by his life registrant. As of April 30th, when he last registered, he listed Mather Street as his address. April 30th of this year.
That's not correct. I actually put my mom's address because that's the address I was staying at. But I had the paper here when I was here visiting, so I mailed it from here. And so I don't know. That's probably why they use this address. But I never put 816 Mathers as my address.
I'm just currently looking on the Wisconsin Department of Corrections Sex Offender Registry website.
How come your name was on the mailbox on the upper level?
The Cooper Holmes, because my daughter's last name is Cooper Holmes as well.
It's on Mather.
Yes, my 2-year-old daughter with my fiance, her last name is Cooper Holmes, so she put it on so to make sure she gets her mail. So they know that.
Okay, this just says Holmes.
Yeah, the website also indicates the 816 Mather Street, like the captain indicated, so.
I never used that address for that because I'm registered more until I find out here it was the whole switching it with them.
Does anyone have any further questions for him?
No.
Okay, do you have someone that would like to speak on
Yes,
your behalf or
I do.
against you?
Yeah,
Oh, we have some people registered?
We do.
Okay.
So we've got 3 speakers that are registered. I'll start with Amen Zedek.
Okay. So you'll have 3 minutes.
Did I pronounce that
Okay.
correctly?
Plenty of time, hello. Yeah, that's right, yeah, close enough. Hi.
Hi.
I actually live downstairs, my sister lives upstairs, and she's with Clifford. They live on 816 upper, I live on 816 lower. I just want to say, well, I'm talking on their behalf. I mean, I never had any problems with nothing. I have 2 daughters, Leila's 11, Gracie's 8. I mean, they consider him as an uncle, pretty much, part of the family. I know he's more now involved than he was before. Officer Beazer is one of them, they gave him a ticket. I believe that was like 2-3 years ago, I believe, so something like that. I don't remember, but he's the one who suggested to do this. The paper was filled out last year, but because he could never get a job down here or nothing, I was gonna get him a job at Sears. We couldn't do that because he has to appear in here, and now Sears is closed, so much for that. But my sister has a newborn right now too, and I mean, I just wanted to say that I've never had any problems or nothing like that. And I know he's staying now more than, 3-4 days right now, something like that, because he does have kids upstairs. I was helping out my sister, my dad was helping out my sister, but it's good to see him more in the picture now than before. I mean, I could never see him before.
So you say he stays there about 3 to 4 days a week?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, right now, because we were all, I mean, it's too much. I mean, I have 2 daughters downstairs, I mean, kids upstairs, I mean, it's hard to help, it really is. And that's why we wanted to get this ball rolling a long time ago, but we could never get a job, we had a fine, it was paid off, and now they gave him another fine, so everything is kind of hectic. Landlord is fine, no neighbors have ever had any problems with him, I mean, never. I mean, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Azra Zedek.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to talk on our behalf. I mean, we just want to have a life together and just be able to be with our kids and have our family, and for him to work and be a man, be the man that he wants to be for us and for his kids. And this has been like stopping him for a long time, just because it's got such a like stigma for, sex offender, it just, he's had a hard time with it. So, I mean, we've just been kind of like back and forth, and we didn't turn in the paper. We were scared the first time, and it was just a lot of different things. But we just want our family together. I mean, if we don't want to be in Milwaukee, it's dangerous for our kids. I don't want my kids to grow up there. I've been here my whole life since I came here, like, from Bosnia in '95. So this is where I've been all my life. I mean, and this is where it's safe, and I feel like, I mean, we've never had as much as he is up here back and forth, and like he does say 3, 4, I mean, he does. And we've never had any complaints about him. We've never had, you know, anything except the citations that he's gotten. I mean, we've talked to the landlord numerous times. She's okay with everything. We just basically just want to live our life, and we want to do it somewhere where we can be able to do that, where he can do that, where it's legal, where it's, you know, where he doesn't have to get in trouble for it. That's pretty much it.
How long have you been together?
Since 2013.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then Behe Tally,
Bertha Tally?
could you spell that name for me?
Bertha Tally.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Ms. Mother. As Azra has stated and everything, I really want him to be here as well. Given the fact that he does spend, you know, a bit of time here, trying to help. And not only that, the area that I'm living in right now is we're trying to move from there now. It's just ridiculous. And I prefer him to not get in any trouble. And, you know, it seems to have been working for him, you know, back and forth here and not having any, you know, I worry about all my kids that I have there now, you know, because I have sons growing up and everything like that. My son, he will be graduating, the 18-year-old will be graduating this year, and he's going off to the Air Force, and I already have one in the Army. So I just want him to be safe, you know. I know it's like Army safe, yeah, right, you know, Air Force safe, but I feel, you know, that they're safe. And I'm worrying about, you know, a black man in Milwaukee, and it's kind of frightening. I just prefer him to be here with us, we're helping her and everything like that. He really want to get a job, but he can't get a job because you need a job. Maybe if you had a job, Mom, I can't get a job because, you know, I can't register here and I don't want to live, you know, really live here. And I understand that, you know, and I really do want him to be with his family. And if that's possible, oh God, please, you know, mothers, you know, you want your kids safe. And what he did, you know, was wrong. He admitted, and, you know, he's been paying for it. And I just want him to just really become the man that he needs to be. And if you guys will allow him to be here, I'm quite sure he will. Just, sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for pre-registered speakers.
Does the board have any questions, comments? Anyone would like to make a motion?
I would move to approve his request.
Address specific? Address?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah,
specific.
okay, yes. Wrong one. I got 816 Mather Street. Move to approve Mr. Holmes' request to move to 816 Mather Street.
Is there a second? Okay, so at this moment, the motion has failed, so we maybe need to do some discussing.
I'll make a motion to approve him to 816 Mather Street for 90 days, just to see how things are going, that's my motion.
Is there a second on that one?
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll take a vote.
The motion fails, 2-2 vote.
Okay, so we need to discuss. Obviously, the board is split right now. I will tell you I voted no. The reason being is I really need to know about your sex offender treatment. I understand that your crime happened a long time ago, but I don't know what you know from what you learned, and so that's a reason. That's one of the criteria that we take into consideration when we approve you. And so that is the reason why I did not approve you.
As well as, seems to be some confusion of saying this and saying that, and, you know, that's, I have a problem with, without seeing anything on paper, actually, of, you know, what you've been involved in as far as treatment. And also, we'd like to see you actually, there's employment out there, there's a lot of it out there, and I know you have a difficult time, more trying time as a sex offender, but there are places hiring all the time.
I understand there's places in Milwaukee hiring, but my thing is trying to get up here to.
Well, there are things here, so we'd like to really see it at least, you know.
I think where he's coming from is he's not looking for a job here, right? Because you don't live here.
Exactly.
You're not here full-time.
I see.
Exactly,
Yeah,
so therefore I can't have employment here if I don't live here.
Okay.
That's why I haven't
But
had
if you're
work
here a
here.
couple days a week, you could at least throw some applications in somewhere and then eventually get here. You know, come back before the board. But,
So come back before the board with a job and not being able to.
well, I'm
live
not
here.
saying that's all the criteria, but we'd like, that'd be really good if you could do that. If you're coming down here 3-4 days a week anyway, you certainly have time to put some applications in.
I have no problems putting the application, it's just the fact that I don't live here, and if I do get a job, how would that work then? You know, I'm here helping her, I'm here helping my fiance out, you know, because, to help her with our kids, and for me to go and work and not stay here, and then I have to put that on, you know, I have to put that on the paper for the registry that I have a job here, but I live in Milwaukee, then that started. So
No,
I'm trying to understand how.
We wouldn't expect you to commute. At that time, you know, you would come back before us
Okay.
with, you know, at that time you'd have a job, hopefully. If not, at least you're coming back with your paperwork that shows you've been in classes, you've done your homework, what you've learned from it. Just
I
like-
can tell you what I've learned from my SOT treatment.
We have to
But
see something,
I
though.
totally get,
We have to see it.
Yeah, so I know that you said they don't give out any kind of
well, that's what I was told,
paperwork
and
or
that was
whatever.
over.
But if you did that while you were on extended supervision, I know you're not on paper anymore, but the Department of Corrections has to have some documentation that you've done that.
Okay.
So I guess my suggestion would be that you try to get that documentation. I will make another motion that would include that information.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve you to 816 Mather Street for 90 days, but you must return with documentation on your sex offender treatment.
Okay. I can do that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll go for a vote.
Still waiting for one more vote to come through.
Did you vote,
Because I
Kathy?
hate saying.
Stand on your fingers.
That motion passes on a 3-1 vote.
Okay, so you'll have 90 days. You don't need to resubmit an application to come back. You'll just appear, you'll receive a letter, but you need to bring that documentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Would you like that? Yeah, letter mailed to the Milwaukee address or to the Mather
To
address?
the Mather address.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the appeal of Robert Haas moving to 617 Kellogg Street.
That's you, ladies.
This old man and the other woman.
Okay, Robert, you've been here before.
Yes,
On many occasions, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and why is it that you are wanting to move? Well, it looks like we approved you before to an address.
I was approved for the 421 Cherry Street address.
Yep, and now you're currently at the TLP, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what happened to the other address?
I ended up being put on appeal hold given the 44-day sanction because I had violated supervision, misused the internet at NWTC, accessing Facebook, and I had in my possession a smartphone without prior approval and knowledge. And I was using the internet on there for adult porn, Facebook, like ordering stuff for an ex-boyfriend of mine that's still in prison. So I told my PO that back in December, and I got locked up January 4th, and I got sent to Sturgeon Bay, like Door County Jail, on like 13 days later. I got out March 2nd.
To the halfway house?
No, homeless.
Oh.
I was homeless for like, well, 4 days. I was on a GPS.
Oh, hold on a second, we're having some difficulties. What happened again?
Just click on the square, if it says leaving, don't click on the leaving.
You want the packet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I was almost from March 2nd to I think March 6th, and I was able to get into a TOP. Within like a week after I got it back in the TOP, I landed myself another job because I had lost my American Foods job being locked up. I actually have last week pay stub with here.
Okay.
Because I get paid weekly. So the director
Let me just tell you what we're looking at. We're looking at a, looks like a check stub from Aerotech. Looks like we have 31 hours and $11.50 an hour. Direct deposit into Chase Bank. Anybody want to look at that? Or? Okay. Thank you. Is that a temp agency?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where do they have you located?
I work at a Wisconsin Plastics in Ashwaubenon. I was trying to get a more recent pay stub, but when I checked the Aerotech website yesterday, they didn't have it because my direct deposit didn't hit until like overnight last night. I do have a couple of letters on my behalf from my case manager, Kathy, as well as my SLT facilitator.
Okay. First of all, when we discuss this treatment stuff, is it okay, public or private?
Public.
Public, okay.
Top one is from Kathy, the bottom one is from my facilitator, for Rebecca Kurtz.
All right, so we'll just hear you too with that one. So we have a letter from Attic, the case manager at the halfway house. Basically, she says he attends all meetings with him, made efforts to follow through on work in areas that will help him ensure his growth, didn't have a job, now he's maintained a job, engages in groups and treatments, SOT and circles of support. All right, this other letter is from, also from the Attic, from the sex offender treatment specialist. March 8th, you started sex offender treatment 2 and completed 7 sessions. You identified social skills you would like to improve on and ways to do that. And you discussed stressors and asked for feedback from the group. Okay.
I know I was supposed to come and see you guys back in February in regards to the Cherry Street, I guess. And I was given some stipulations in regards to documentation from the SOT provider. Most recent pay stub, as well as the completion of Thinking for a Change.
Yep.
I do have the certificate for T4C.
Okay. That's dated November 9th of 2017.
And then I had last year when I came here the first time, I had forgot to bring some certificates I had done while I was in prison. I don't know if you guys want to see it or not.
The what? I'm sorry.
Certificates of like house or bodily installation and stuff that I did while I was in prison. I forgot to bring it.
No, I personally, I don't need to see anything like that. Do you guys? Okay.
But I am currently waiting to hear from Brown County Mental Health. Rebecca had put in a call and informed me, and she, as of Thursday last week, she hasn't heard anything yet. But I do have my copy of the receipt of the thing for, if you guys want to see it.
And what's gonna happen at the Brown County Mental Health?
I got diagnosed by the Army back in 2008 with anxiety depression. And I also wanted to be evaluated for like bipolar, ADHD, like anger issues kind of thing. Like because I deal with that like every single day. So, because I deal with panic attacks like constantly. Like maybe 15 a month maybe, and it's like my agent told me last week, I put in like too much stress on myself. So I don't know. Was being back at the TOP, trying to find a place, find a stable job before my 90 days, because my 90 days is up on June 6th from the TOP. And if I don't get approved for this residence, I'll be homeless again if I don't get an extension. So that's where some of the panic attacks have come from, was stemming from trying to find a residence, because I was trying to find a place in Ashwaubenon, but my agent told me they don't rent to sex offenders. So that pretty much shut the door on me.
Can you just explain to me, having gone through Thinking of Change, you're enrolled in WTC, then why did you start doing the Facebook and the pornography on the phone, and why would you do that having gone through all this?
Because I was arrogant. I started to not care about my freedom. I wanted to reconnect with family. I was like sexually active, like horny all the time. And that's why I reverted to watching porn.
When did you join Facebook?
I used, when I was in high school, I had a Facebook account. I don't remember the username or password.
Well, how did you get on Facebook then? Again, I don't belong to Facebook, but I thought you had to belong to it to be able to see what's on it. Am I not?
Yeah, that's true. I was going to, when I was at NWTC, and I was trying to get on Facebook, I was actually in the process of trying to break my court order of no contact with my victim's older sister. Because in my belief, and my viewpoint, I feel like her and I like bonded like actual like brother and sister. And I wanted to explain everything and move on, but what I need to do is focus on myself. I got 3 years and like 4 days left of supervision before I discharge from supervision. And the rate that I'm going with that stuff, I won't see it. I'll land myself back in jail, possible prison. That is why I would like to get a place of my own, so I'd be able to like just go home, shut the door, like exclude myself from people, and just focus on what I need to do to be successful. Not just on supervision, but life beyond the mess I put myself in.
Does anyone have any further questions for you? Okay, it appears we have a speaker
Yes.
on his behalf or against, I'm not sure.
This is Eric Gajovnik.
I'm a group facilitator with Circles of Support, and he's been coming to groups since I believe it's March 28th, and he's made it to every one of our meetings in that time, and he's been an active participant, and it's been good for group.
Thank you.
That's the only pre-registered speaker.
Anybody else want to speak on his behalf? Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. We just need you to state your name and address for the...
Name is Roy DeRuyter, address 1079 Butternut Lane, Oneida.
Roy, could you spell your last name?
D-E, capital R-U-Y-T-E-R.
Thank you.
I basically want to state, just to back up what Eric said, he does participate, he comes to group.
You're with Circles of Support?
I'm with Circles of
Okay.
Support, excuse me. You know, and he does open up and speak to us about his concerns there, which is what we want to do. And, you know, that's why, you know, we're trying to assist him in his moving forward, you know, so that's basically what I want to say.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion?
I'm just between, having done what you did, I'm having a hard time allowing myself to allow you to live at another address. That's my thinking right now. I just am not, I don't know. That's, if any of you have anything.
That is true, but he'll be on the street otherwise too.
Yeah.
That was my concern though too. So you have a job now, you have this other job, so is it gonna terminate at a certain point, or is this temporary until I get something different?
I got like maybe like 41 days left of the temp agency. I'm placed on a 90-day grace period or whatever with the company. My supervisor loves how I work because I've been talking with Keith McCain from Aerotech, my recruiter, on the phone for like almost every week or every other week. And he tells me that they like how I work because I'm a really good worker. So with that, he thinks, and I can back him up, they will possibly
That must make you
hire me.
give you a little more confidence in yourself.
Yes. I love the job. I'm an operator assembler at not American Foods, Wisconsin Plastics. Once I get hired on, I am going to be applying for the material handler position because I am a material handler by trade. From back in 2011, when I was working at what is now SPG, which was Hattiesburg, which was like McDonald's bags and Subway like items, products, and that's where I picked up on that trade, and I love doing that kind of stuff.
So you're looking into the future. Why do you want to turn back with these other things? I mean, why can't you just keep looking forward? What's stopping you?
Because I hate being alone. This is actually going to be my first time. I'm 28, going to be turning 29 in September. And this is actually going to be my first apartment, if approved, by myself. Because I always used to be living with friends, family. And I was like a troublemaker growing up. So I never really learned how to cope, like being by myself or talking, until I hit high school and I was put back in foster care and I was slowly coming out of that shell.
But if you're living alone and you don't like to be alone, are you in any other treatment besides the circle of support?
SOT. Those
That was the
two.
letter he provided us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. And you're still going to that?
Yes.
You've been to 7, okay.
I'm just doing that for right now, 2 for right now, because I don't want to put too much on the caseload. Rebecca did bring up the support group of NAMI. Let's see if I was interested. I can talk with her about it and the group tomorrow morning, because I meet Thursday mornings for SOT. So at some point, yeah, I may go into some more like men's groups or sport groups at some point, but right now I just don't want to like overload myself, especially with trying to find a place to live and keeping up a job.
Ms. Haas, explain your current living condition for me, please. You are at?
The Added Correctional Services. It's a Transitional 11 program for people that come out of jail and prison. I am given a 90-day grace period, so to speak, to like find a place to live and a job.
Okay. And is there a possibility of extension?
I would have to talk with my PO and the case manager about that. Because I don't know because there's a list of people for the attic, so I don't know if there's anybody like coming on the waiting list. So I don't know.
I'm just gonna say my 2 cents worth. So I've denied you in the past, and the reason why I defied you in the past is because basically, we both agreed at one point that you were defiant and you didn't want to follow rules. And I asked you what changed, and you said going to prison, and you matured. You've gone through all of this, and you still went back and violated your probation rules. And not just going on Facebook, but going on porn. So I have serious concerns about that, and the fact that you said you wanted to contact the victim's sister, all in violation. That's defiance, in my opinion. So that's where I stand at this point. I just want you to know that. Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. With all that, I am going to make a motion to deny to move at 617 Kellogg Street, address Pacific.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
We'll go for a vote. Oh. Okay.
So the motion is to deny. If you enter
Oh.
the wrong button, I can change it.
You can't?
I can.
Okay, yeah. Do it there, right? Okay. Sorry, that thing's confusing.
Okay, so the motion to deny passes on a 3-to-1 vote. So he's denied,
Okay.
his application's denied.
So you're not approved to live there, you'll have to find something else.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the appeal of Pascal Cheetham, requesting to move to 1904 Bastion Street, number 3. Read Mr. Cheetham, you, right, it's Cheetham?
Yes.
You're kind of laughing like I'm not saying it right.
No, that's right.
Okay.
It's surprising that most people can even get it right. Some people just say Chatham or Chatham or Cheetham.
I believe you've been here before, correct? And are we just having you come back because we needed something?
I was told that in order to move to another place, I gotta see you guys.
Oh, is that
Approved
what?
at a different address, now he wants to move to another one.
Okay. Okay, so let's see here. The last time you were here was back in, 2015. Do we need to go over his offense? Does
No.
anyone want to recapture? Let's see here.
Do you have the copy of the letter? Because it's that black.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been living at the 9th Street address, which we approved you back in 2015, and you're moving because, was it because they sold a place or something? What happened?
My reason for wanting to move is because, as you can see, I got a 1-year-old now, and she's trying to do some walking, and the place is just too small.
Okay, so 1904 Bastion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the one about the thing, right?
Yeah, because this one is the old one, it's the same holdings company, but it's for the
Yeah, the
9th
they
Street.
sold it.
But this one shows a black art packet.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
I just got black.
That, I did too, I didn't
Okay.
understand that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dietrich Construction owned it and sold it to S&Y Holdings.
Okay.
Both of their properties.
All right. And, are you on paper anymore?
No, this has been completed.
All right. And are you currently working?
No Social Security at the time. Same as the last time. Can't see that.
Is that permanent?
Hopefully, depending on our president. Because it's keep being talked about, they want to do away with Social Security.
And, so this is your child with
Fiance, Denise.
fiance, but you had 2 other children, correct, that were adopted? And if I remember correctly, those people came to speak on your behalf, correct? And do you still have a relationship with those children?
Not really, because the new baby, so it is what it is. I can't do nothing about it.
Is that because you choose not to do anything about it? It's,
They're mad because he had another child.
They just basically don't want me seeing them anymore because I have another child to tend to, and they have the right to tell me, hey, you can't see them because they're no longer your kids. They're our kids.
okay. How long has that been going on, since she's been born, or?
Few months before she was born, actually.
Okay. All right, does anyone have questions they want to ask him about anything, treatment? Do you want to talk about treatment?
Me too.
No? Okay. And then we have somebody who would like to speak on his behalf?
Correct,
Yeah,
Or-
Denise.
Okay, you can, well, if you want to stay there, you're probably
We've been
good.
together for the last 2 years. I've been living with him. We had her. There's never been a police contact. He went and got his license. He went through a treatment program, got his driver's license back. Everything's been really doing actually good.
Yeah, that was kind of failed the test the first time.
That's all right. Happens.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Cheetham, address specific, 1904 Baston Street, number 3.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a vote on that.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, you're good to move to Bastion Street. Would you like us to mail that to you there or to the 9th Street address?
To the 9th Street address because the apartment's not gonna be ready to the 1st. It's supposed to be the 15th, but they got so much stuff they gotta redo. They
Okay.
say it's not gonna be ready by the 15th.
All right, we'll
So-
send it there then.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Next on the agenda is the appeal of Jack Hasenbach. However, we did receive an email that he asked to withdraw his application for that. So could we make a motion? Do we need to make a motion for that?
I make a motion to deny.
I'll second
You don't
that
make a
motion.
motion, just to,
Oh, to
or
withdraw.
I don't know,
Yeah, what
how
do
do
we-
they do that? I don't even think,
Does it need
We
to be
don't need to
addressed?
make a motion
I'll let the attorney.
Yeah, it was on the agenda, we should have a motion.
Okay.
to withdraw him or to deny?
For the time being, to deny.
Okay. I make a motion to deny.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll take a vote on that.
Sometimes they come colored and sometimes they
So,
don't.
Well said.
so if it's denied.
Okay, motion to deny was passed.
Okay, next on the agenda is, we have our next meeting date scheduled for Wednesday, June 13th at 2:30 in this room. Public hearings. Okay, we're good on that. And would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
And second,
I'll second.
and we'll take a vote. I feel like I'm waiting for the,
Oh, I hit the wrong one.
then hit the other one again, because you didn't hit save.
You want to keep on
No,
going?
I want to stay.
Everybody voted, passed unanimously.
Good. Okay.
Now we can, do we sign out? Log out? Right?
Now we.
So turn off the recording. All right.
Log out.